Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It's time for the Wednesday update. I've lost my sidekick, Eric, who has chosen to be in quarantine today just because he's got more than enough work to do. So we can give him the business about that at another time. But we wanted to give you a couple of updates. I'm standing in the usual place where I greet on a Sunday morning, and the daffodils are out around church, the birds are singing, but it's not the same because you're not here. And just a reminder, we can't wait until we gather again. So a couple of news updates for you today. The first is we want to express profound sympathy to Al and Linda Lanning and to Mitch and Lisa Kroll and their family in the sudden and unexpected loss of David. Please feel free to email them or send them cards at this time. This is about as much support as we can offer them, and remember them in your prayers. Updates, we're grateful that Mick Venema has made some good progress in the last week with some of his dehydration issues. So now that those are being overcome, he's hoping that in a few weeks he might be able to resume 3 or 4 more treatments. So good progress for him. Caitlin Saul was not able to receive treatments this past week because her numbers were low, but she and her family are not concerned, nor are her doctors about that. She hopes to resume those treatments soon. We're also grateful that today, as late as about a half hour ago, we received word that Dwight Lutke successfully underwent surgery on a heel. About a week ago, he fell off of a flatbed truck and landed in such a way that he shattered his heel. So he's looking at about 90 days of recuperation at home. He's in an industry that is remaining plenty busy, so this is going to be especially hard for him, but we're grateful that the surgery went well. From a news standpoint at Georgetown, just know that the executive team met this past week, and as we are doing every 2 weeks now, and we're doing that virtually, we met this past week and made the decision that we are going to postpone the affirmation and the selection of new office bearers and care providers until we're back together again. We are hopeful that that could happen at the end of May or June, but that's important enough that we want to do that in person. So the decision we made together was not to try and do that online or through email or through some kind of ballot through the mail, but we said that's important enough that we're together again. So just know that within 30 days of our gathering together again, we will be affirming and selecting new office bearers. In the meantime, however, in the next few weeks, expect in your email inbox or your mailbox some biographical profiles of those who have allowed their names to stand for those offices and those care roles. And you will get to know them by photo as well as some personal narrative that they've shared with us. And that will be coming to you again, either USPS or by email. Also, please know that we continue to have people volunteering to help in different ways for those who may need it. And wonderful in Georgetown's life is the typical pattern of people are so willing to offer a hand, a heart, and what we're not hearing as much is those of you who may have needs, whether that's work-related or groceries or financial needs. And we've encouraged our elders and our deacons and our care providers to be attentive to those things, and by all means follow the lead that was on our sign a few weeks ago of need help, call Georgetown. We want to continue to communicate that not only to the community but to you, and we commit to doing whatever we can to assist and support you in this odd and difficult time. Also, please note that our next Feeding America distribution is this coming Tuesday. It will happen a little bit earlier, and in tomorrow's end of the week email, I will be releasing a sign-up genius that Juliana has created, and you can sign up to assist. We're going to do a drive-through style again right in this space, And once again, we'll make sure that the people we are trying to help, as well as those who are helping, are protected wisely and carefully. Last this afternoon, I wanted to share with you a little bit about how all of this happens at Georgetown. So many of you have expressed appreciation for how the Sunday videos are going, and a number of you have expressed, wow, that's phenomenal camera work that's taking place. So I'd like to give you a little bit behind the scenes, at least verbally, about how that's happening. On Wednesdays and Thursdays of each week, Nolan Snowink, who's on the other side of this camera right now, is one who comes and he enters into the sanctuary, and whether it's Jack preaching or me preaching, Nolan sets up his camera and we do our thing. And 20 to 30 minutes, 20 for me, 30 to 40 to 50 for Jack. Minutes later, what happens is the camera goes off and Noah stores that file. And when he works with Katie and song leaders, he does the same thing with 1, 2, or 3 at a time. With someone who's praying or offering a children's message. All of that happens in isolation. And then Noah and Chris Dykehouse quilt that whole thing together with sound and video. So we want you to know in a couple different ways. We want you to know that we're observing the social distancing when we create this, even though it's stitched together as if it looks like it's being shot live. We want you to know that Wednesdays and Thursdays here are big production days, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are days in which Chris and Nolan are sometimes spending 20 to 25 hours knitting that all together for a Sunday YouTube. And we also want you to know that it's important to us not to live stream, as many churches are doing, to an open space on a Sunday morning with all of the sound and lighting and technological glitches that can happen. But this is a pretty well done production by our volunteers who are doing a fine job of stitching all of these pieces together. So know that it's been important to us to shoot in familiar territory. Know that we've got some heroic volunteers going about sharing their gifts, and know too that we are doing everything in our power to keep one another safe as we put these videos together. Remember that our intended communication pattern with you is going to be Mondays for mission updates, Wednesdays for these kinds of newsy updates for the congregation. Thursday is the end of the week email. Friday or Saturday we release the link to the YouTube, and of course the Sunday YouTube videos go live at 9:30. Don't forget, tomorrow evening is the special service, the Monday, Thursday service. That too will go live on YouTube at 7 o'clock. That will be a service of readings and songs and home communion for you. So we want to remind you to prepare those elements ahead of time and share them as a family, as a household, whoever's with you that night. And in this weekend where the church celebrates the great 3 days, what's called the Mysterium Triduum, the great 3 days, where we enter into the story of Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil in anticipation of Resurrection Morning, and then Resurrection Day. We wish you a blessed weekend as we continue to navigate this apart, but doing it together as the body of Christ. Brothers and sisters, the Lord be with you.